Hello, friends, and that I do and don't know. My name is Martha, and I am here to talk with you about breath as anchor. I have been a meditation practitioner, student, and um, advocate of mindfulness for over 40 years. And I believe that when we get to know ourselves, we are far more available to other people. And we all want to feel belonging and committed to the family systems, our friends, and even the friends and family in our neighborhood. So let me travel with you to talk about breath as anchor. We breathe every day, and I think we sometimes think, oh, I'm not even aware of breathing, but we are. And the reality is the breath breathes us. And when we quiet ourselves to just sit and take notice of our breath, we become aware of an inhale and an exhale. And with every inhale, we feel the breath come in through our nostrils. Maybe even we feel it come down through our uh, nasal passages down into our throat. And we begin to feel our belly and our lungs or our chest expand. And we're taking in a life-sustaining breath. And then our body just automatically knows to exhale. And when we exhale, we can feel our body contracting into itself, and we feel the air come out of our nostrils, and the air might feel warmer when we exhale than it did when we inhaled. And thus, this is the breath that our body takes. I know we breathe in and out a number of times during a day. And how many times, I would like to find that out myself. So that's something I'm going to investigate. But each breath that we take is life-sustaining. And that life sustainment keeps us alive. If we don't breathe, we don't live. The wonderful thing about breath as anchor is that our breath is very non-judgmental. Our breath is not fussy about the right or wrong of how it breathes. Our breath is not demanding it to be a certain way. Sometimes we breathe very shallowly. Sometimes we breathe very deeply. And for some reason, the breath just knows what the body needs. And thus, the body is connected with our breathing. Our breath is also a way that we can use to center ourselves. We can use our breath to relax. We use our breath to step away, to take a pause. And have you ever found yourself holding your breath? Well, usually when we're holding our breath, we're probably under some kind of stress or anxiety, or there's a conflict, but that we're up against something that we're unsure of. And the gift of the breath is that when we take that breath in and out, we start to calm ourselves. We actually lower our blood pressure. We actually engage our parasympathetic nervous system so that we are present with what is going on. It does not mean that the stress or the conflict that we're encountering changes. What changes is how we address it, how we work with it. So our breath is, Sharon Salzberg calls it's our cell phone. It's our high tech. We can take it anywhere, wherever we go. And nobody has to know that you're touching in with your breath if you have encountered a stressful situation or a conflict when you're not at home. And life is full of conflict and stress. Those are givens. It's how we work with them that's important, not that we're doing away with those inevitables in our life. And change happens. Many of us are going through rather large changes right now with COVID and vaccines and knowing what the right thing to do is if you're fully vaxxed or if you're not, or you can't get an appointment. All of those are stressors that we're all facing. And when we face them with a sense of calmness and breathing, we find ways to work with it. And we find ourselves becoming less irritable, less, oh, it should have happened yesterday. And we're allow more space around how we work with those kinds of challenges as they come into our life. So our breath is also, it doesn't need to become more efficient. And we're driven to be more active, get more things done, compete. It's kind of a dog competition out there sometimes. But our breath doesn't care about that. Thus, when we find ourselves in those situations where we're feeling competitive, not only with ourselves, but with other people around us or other situations, time to take a breath. Time to reconnect with the inhale, that life-sustaining movement of the breath into the body, filling the abdomen, filling your lungs, and then just automatically exhaling and let all the breath out. And when you breathe out, you can literally feel yourself relax. You can feel your shoulders relax. You might even feel your face relax and have a slight smile on your lips as you're exhaling. But the breath is a very healing part of us, and we can take it anywhere. It doesn't belong to anybody else, and in some sense, it really doesn't belong to us. It helps us keep ourselves alive. Breathing is one of those things that is, it has its own natural rhythm. And when we connect with our breath, we can learn how to connect with our own natural rhythm, which is with the breath. Sometimes we find ourselves breathing very quickly and sometimes shallowly at the same time. We may have run up a flight of stairs. We may have been on a walk or a run. And the breath is just automatically taking care of what your body needs. Sometimes we find ourselves breathing that way because we're under stress. So we can pause and ask ourselves, what's going on right now? And the breath will allow us to show us what we need to pay attention to. So if we haven't been running up stairs or lifting something really heavy and we're still breathing very fast and shallowly, chances are we're dealing with some stress. And when we just stop and ask ourselves, what is in front of me now? Our breath can show us. It can tell us. It can help us know what to do. And the first response is always to take a deep breath. Deep breaths can come in several fashions. One breathing exercise that I often use when I find myself under stress, or I know I'm going into a stressful situation, is I sit in a very relaxed position, and I'm not slouching, and I'm not lounging, but I'm sitting upright. I love the saying upright, but not too tight, with a strong back and a soft front. And I take a deep breath in through my nose, and I count to the count of 4. So breathe in to the count of 4, and then hold the breath for a count of 4. And then breathe out, and breathe out for as long as you can till you actually empty your lungs, empty your belly of breath. And repeat that as you need, because what it does is it brings your heart rate down. It takes you from the sympathetic to the parasympathetic nervous system. Your blood pressure goes from up here to down here. And all of a sudden, you're in a much more relaxed, calm place so that you can work with whatever is in front of you. Change, conflict, and stress are inevitables. Again, we are not getting rid of those. We are finding a way to work with them with calmness, with directness, and we always have a choice. It's something we can work with right away. Maybe it's something we can table and address later. So, this action of paying attention to your breath puts you in your driver's seat. It puts you in charge of the choices you need to make because no one knows you better than yourself. And at the basic foundation of breath as anchor, you have all you need. We just forget. We forget that we're capable. We forget that we have resilience. We forget that we can approach stresses and change and conflict with a calm frame of mind. And we also realize just as the breath is not trying to get anything or attain something, neither are we. We're making an effort to just be with what is, and that is the power of the breath. So I'm going to lead you with a pondering, which I love. When you own your breath, nobody can steal your peace. So namaste, and thank you.